You're listening to From a Certain Point of Skew, the only Star Wars podcast to bring 60% Star Wars knowledge all of the time. I'm one of the hosts, Jason the Ginger Jedi Guy, broadcasting live from inside the one and only Wookiee Poo Studios. I am not alone. It is not unfortunate. I'm happy to have my guests with me.
Finally.
Yeah. Please allow me to introduce your favorite wretched scum, scoundrels, and smugglers. First up, Neighbor Cole. He's from Neighbor Cole. Hold on. We're gonna get an edit spot there.
Nope.
No, we're not parking on that.
Freudian slip.
Neighbor Kroll? Oh,
Producer
yeah.
Kyle's last name.
That's true.
Happens to be.
Yeah. Rolls right off the tongue, if you know
You'd
what I
like
mean.
that, wouldn't you? You fucking
What's
perv.
that? Put you two together?
Yeah. Make us into one amorphous
I think
blob.
you guys, between the two of you, you might be the ultimate human. Because you really would balance each other out.
Yeah.
The light in the dark.
Mm-hmm. I'm, of course, the light.
I don't think any of the listeners know who we're talking about because she's never been on the show.
No.
Unless you're a 7 Days a Geek listener. But we don't bring that up on the show, do we, Matt? Sorry, sir.
Fuck no. I'm kidding.
Sponsored by?
From Corellia. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. Thank you for having me in Wookiee Poo Studios. It's very, very chilly down here. My nipples are hard.
I opened the vents because it's
Quite
I
hard.
thought it was kind of a humid, hot day. Although I threw this shirt on earlier today because it was only worn for an hour yesterday, and it was chilly this morning. And then I just kind of suffered through the day, so I just kept the air on.
You really talked yourself through that
yeah.
one? You
And
only
I
wore
know,
it for an hour?
I know those 4 houses that you've got to pass to come down here kind of fucking wear you out, so I wanted to make sure you came down into a nice, cool environment.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It's beautiful outside today, and coming down in here is quite the climate shock. But I'm not one to complain. I'll gut it out and push through it.
Mm-hmm.
But we do have a show to get to today, and we do have a third micer who's coming in hot from the Skype lines. I hear he's been out to Uranus lately, and they've been drilling pretty deep out there. Oh, sorry about that. I didn't know if that joke was going to land, but he didn't.
Beginning do you think is going to end up in the edit?
He didn't look like he was very happy with that joke. He's always smiling. He's our favorite third micer. It's Darth Matthews, a.k.a. Matt.
That's a weird intro.
That's pretty good.
Oh, that is good.
Do you know who did the voice of that?
Yeah, Zach Braff.
It does not sound like him. So I went back and listened to it because you could tell it was like they hired somebody, right? Mm-hmm. But I mean, they threw that thing through so much synthesizers or whatever they do because it doesn't have Braff's like.
You could see where it starts as his voice. I would say that,
Yeah, okay.
but it definitely doesn't sound just like straight up his voice. A lot of people thought it was Seth Rogen.
Right. That's what I saw on Twitter. Is a lot of people said Zach Braff does an excellent impersonation of Seth Rogen. Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks for having me here, guys. I'm glad that you're happy that we're here, Jay. Appreciate that.
I'm very happy.
It only took 68 episodes, and you finally got there. If you'd like to find our podcast from a certain point of skew.com, we're on Twitter at FACPApod. Email us, and some of you did this week, thank you, FACPApod@gmail.com, and you can find us, we're a part of the Podawan Podcast Network at Podawans. And I want to mention before I forget is that we are doing a giveaway during this Kenobi series. If you get a friend to listen to the show, Mike Laybourne was trying to ask if he got his family to listen and his dog, would that count? And I said, only if your dog writes a review and
Right.
and we get a download from the dog.
Yeah. Get a download from the dog.
Not like that.
Get the dog a smartwatch.
If you write a review, you get 2 entries. If you quote tweet our episodes, and you get 1 entry, and we will have first, second, and third place prizes. But the number 1 prize from Darth Flamingus will be a Kenobi saber hilt, which
That's
maybe
nice.
we will be able to use better than the man himself.
That's a burn,
Yeah.
if you will.
Oh.
Sick burn.
Yeah.
Coming in hot.
Yep. And we're gonna go into that. But first, I'm gonna tell you what the hell's coming up on the show, so that way you're like, oh my god, I'm excited. I'm gonna stick around for the whole thing. You listener that can't stay 15 minutes car ride and you forget to listen to the rest of the episode. We know you are. We've seen you.
Yep.
We're gonna blow up your Buick.
Whoa.
On the show today, question of the week: Vader's force choke smolders. News: Andor Writers waiting on Glover and Bad Batch release date. Dun dun. Finally. I mean, you must have just blew a load when you saw this.
I was still a little groggy from my procedure earlier today, so I didn't totally blow a load, but later on tonight I will.
Okay, good. Good. The bulk of the episode is going to be our Kenobi episode 3 review. Then we've got 3 emails in the Maul Bag, and we'll wrap up the show with a Factpa or Fiction final edition? Question mark.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Make sure you clench the butt cheeks when you climax, Matt. You don't want to have a mess on your hands.
No.
Now, you guys, there's a question of the week here, and I'll let you get to it because I'm guessing you wrote it. Neighbor Cole?
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay.
That's me.
I know you. But did you see during Celebration, people were posting all these pictures, because they're there and they're posting all the slave Leias, right? Did you see someone named, it's a different name now, and I don't know if that's going around. You know how they're like, now it's not the Slave One ship, and they're changing things? It was Hut Killer Leia, they called it.
It's violent.
Hut Slayer Leia.
Hut Slayer.
I think it was called.
That fucking great band. If you ever, I saw them open once for Guns N' Roses. They're fantastic.
That's actually my Tinder handle, Hut Slayer.
That's actually the band from the first Visions. They get back together as the Hut Slayers.
Oh, there you go.
Yep.
Oh,
Yep.
I love
Change out the H with a B, and you really got something there.
Hut Slayers? Oh, wow.
Hey,
shit.
I mean, you backed right into that one.
Yep.
Oh,
They call me
boy.
juvenile.
We need a soundboard right now. Question of the week. Who's reading it?
I can.
Okay.
Considering Darth Vader is known for his patented force choking abilities, why didn't he snatch up Obi-Wan from the arms of the Master Chief loader droid and just pull him through the flames in the end part of Part 3 of Kenobi? Did the flames scare him away? Did he panic and freeze up? Or did he have ulterior motives?
He is toying with him. He says a line, something like, "Your pain has just begun." He
Yes.
wants to just grind him into the fucking ground. He doesn't want to kill him quickly. So I think he was just like, once the flames came back up, which he already force blew out, by the way, once. He was probably like, yeah, I'm gonna let you go away. Maybe you'll lead me to other Jedi because my mission is to kill all the Jedi. So I'm just gonna go ahead and let you do that, and I'll beat the fuck out of you next time again because I'm not worried about you because you fight like an idiot.
Yeah, he's a little rusty.
Very risky.
So just like sheer confidence is what you guys think.
Oh, I think he feels like he's got the upper hand big time. No offense to his hands, but he's got the upper hand big time, and he feels like he doesn't need to rush in killing this man. He's obviously totally consumed by him, but he's in no hurry to kill him.
My first thought was he kind of felt bad. Like he really went over the top. Maybe he came down from his little Sith rage. Like he was going through the whole chain of command.
Sort of like an abusive relationship,
Yeah.
where he smacked him around a little bit, and then he was like, I'm sorry, baby. I love you.
You know I love you.
Yeah. Let's work this out.
You know better to talk to me like that when I'm hurting Linda. That's what he said to Obi-Wan.
Oh, boy.
I don't think he's got any remorse there. Hey, I think Darth is in
No.
full killer fuck you mode. I don't think there's any inkling of like the good in him right now. I think he's as bad as he's gonna get at about this stage.
And he's like the 80s slasher stalker, right? He just Mike Myers him all through that little mining area, whatever.
Right.
So he's like, we ended on a cliffhanger, but it could just be like you think you're getting away, but I'm coming for you.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll open up and he'll next episode wipe out the flames, and because he did it before, I was like, I'm just gonna fucking follow you,
Right. Yeah.
I've got your scent.
Yeah, I'm taking an awful big risk here, Vader, letting them leave. Remember when they left the Death Star and he put the tracking device on him? So we've seen it before.
Or maybe he recognized Homegirl and was like, you know what? She keeps harboring Jedis. Let's let them think they're getting away so I can see
Exactly
what they're using to get away.
Yep.
Big picture stuff then.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was curious as to what your guys' thoughts were on that.
Okay. I think we'll probably get to more of that when we go to the whole episode.
For sure.
Yeah. Because I got some things to say.
Okay, let's get to the news real quick. So on the Andor front, it was revealed who the writers are, at least for the first 7 episodes of Andor. And so the first 4 are Tony Gilroy, which makes sense because he's the showrunner, and we're going to get some nice Jason Bourne, spy shit.
Yeah.
So that's going to be great. 5 to 6 are his brother Dan Gilroy.
Both Gilroys.
Both Gilroys.
Nepotism.
A lot of Gilroy action. He
Fucking
wrote
nepotism.
I think he wrote one of the Bourne films, but he also wrote and directed Nightcrawler, which I really enjoyed. It's a very dark, entertaining film.
Didn't he do was it called Duplicity? There was a movie with Clive Owen and Julia Roberts. There was
Closer?
Michael,
You think about Closer?
Nope, that was Natalie Portman. Nope, it was a kind of a bomb. No one saw it.
Oh, okay.
My best friend's wedding.
It was like a corporate who's smarter than who type of thing.
Oh, Pretty Woman.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
Thinking of The Proposal with Sandra Bullock and Ryan Reynolds.
Yes. Not Indecent
Okay.
Proposal. The Proposal.
For some reason, Chuck and Larry popped in my head as The Proposal.
Chuck, Larry.
And then episode 7, Stephen Schiff, who was a writer and producer on The Americans. Fuck yeah.
Ooh.
So we got a great writing crew here. It's interesting. I looked at Wikipedia and it shows writers for the rest of the season. So I don't know where they get that information because they've got like Bo Willimon who is the writer on or a writer on House of Cards and Ides of March. I don't know if you ever saw that movie. We were just talking about Philip Seymour Hoffman a minute ago. So maybe heavy on the kind of the political material. And then 8 to 10 is going to be Gilroy again, which makes sense because, or excuse me, 11 and 12 are going to be Gilroy again because he would want to wrap it up. So I'm, again, so excited for Andor.
Yeah, Stephen Schiff, too, if he wrote on The Americans, that's like right in the fucking same vein.
Yeah, all of those guys are like political espionage, spy kind of stuff. So,
that's
perfect group to put together for this.
Fuck yeah, should be good.
Factpa approved.
There you go. Stamp it. We need a drop for that. Anyone?
We do.
Glover, waiting on Glover. So we talked a bit last time about Kathleen Kennedy's comments and how she had said at the time, we're still talking to Donald Glover about Lando. And I was like, that's a weird way to say it. I thought that's still like a go.
Yeah.
But so it turns out they're kind of waiting on him to be available, I guess. He was asked about the series, or she was asked about the series, and she said, quote, "You need to ask Donald. He's the one that holds the cards here, but there's no movement. I will say that honestly, but it's not for lack of trying. It's just that he's a very busy guy. He's got another series and I think one other thing, and then he'll come our way. So patiently waiting." That's an interesting thing for her to say.
He shot Atlanta 3 and 4 back to back, I believe, and that's supposed to be the wrap up. And then he's moving on to Mr. and Mrs. Smith for Amazon.
Right.
Which I think he's a writer and producer on. So probably after the first season of that, maybe he'll do Lando.
Yeah, it sounds like we're not going to get Lando till at least 2024, maybe even 2025 at this point, which is a bummer. I'm sure Billy D is like, not getting any younger here, guys.
I'm only hanging on here for maybe a year, guys.
Come on now. Poor guy.
He's going to sound like Darth Vader when we fucking pull him out to go do some ADR work.
Here, put the CPAP machine on.
Yeah.
And then finally, Bad Batch release date, which you referenced earlier, we just was announced today. And so, yeah, September 28th is when that's going to happen. So there's a lot of overlap with Andor, not just the timeline, but the day. They're dropping on Wednesdays, it sounds like. So you're going to have 2 Star Wars shows dropping on Wednesdays every week for, I think it's about 7 or 8 week crossover there.
Wow.
With the 2 of them. So that'll be pretty sweet. So then that makes it for a very fat Factpa episode every week.
Yeah. Fat Factpa Fridays.
There you go. And if it's 16 episodes again, that takes us all the way into January, which would be cool because then Mando is February. So really the only huge gap we have coming up is between Kenobi and Andor.
How will we do it?
I don't know.
We'll figure it out.
We'll figure something out.
Yeah. We have a lot of big episodes coming up.
People are chomping at the bit for these episodes.
They want to know what we have to say about it.
Shall we get into it?
Yeah, why not? That's what we're here for.
Kenobi, episode 3, or as I dubbed it, Quarrel at the Quarry.
Okay.
I made the mistake earlier of calling it episode 3. It's part 3.
Sorry, part 3. You're right.
Because if you put episode 3 out, people are going to think it's Revenge of the Sith.
Yes,
right.
That's fair.
Which
Good
I
point.
would say there was a little bit of Revenge of the Sith in that.
Very much so. It's either Quarrel at the Quarry or Beat Down at the Gravel Pit. I'm not sure what you want to call it.
Vader says, "I'll meet you at the flagpole after school."
Totally. Big time bully. Well, you mentioned that too, Cole. It's interesting that they just say part 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Every other series we've seen, they had titles for every episode. So it's kind of odd, but whatever.
Question before we get into it.
Yes, absolutely.
Did you not want to discuss not the spoilers, but the rumors that there is a second season coming?
Well, we can mention that now.
Okay.
Go ahead.
I just did.
That's it. That's all we got.
That's all. Yeah. Leave it in the edit. Move on.
Yeah, like I said to you guys in the DM, I've only seen it coming from one source, so it's still possible it's happening. But and it would make sense. I mean, I think at this point, Ewan said he would do another one, and I think it's getting, it's being for the most part well received. Some people have gripes, of course, because everybody does. But I could see them doing a second season. It'd be odd timing for them to just be like right now, be like, "Yep, it's happening." But who knows?
Yeah, true.
I saw him on. I saw Ewan McGregor on Twitter, basically backing the actress that plays Reva, whatever. Just going out and talking, just the nicest guy, but in the most nice guy, like dad mode voice, being like,
"Don't be a dick."
If you're saying shit that's racist, you're no Star Wars fan to me. He said it like he's just like, wow, this guy is just so fucking nice.
Yeah.
He can't even be mean to a bunch of racist assholes. Like, let him have it, dude.
There was probably like 3 or 4 takes, and they had to send it into Disney, and they were like, "Yeah, this one works."
Then one of them, they had green screen behind him. Yeah, I could easily see him doing it, but the thing is, this series, as Deborah Chow has said a number of times, has a beginning, middle, and end, this series.
Mhm.
So if you're going to do it, it's going to be totally different. It means that, or I mean, I guess they can always change their minds, but you would think that it wouldn't be as heavily involved with Darth. Like, this is the Darth tale. It would be something totally different.
But we know in the Marvel comic books that there's stories they're telling to fill in that gap too. So they could pull from some of that. Like there's the fight with Black Chrysanthemum, right?
Yeah.
There, all that stuff that we discussed. So there's more that can happen on Tatooine. Although I really don't want another show just chilling on Tatooine the whole time. But that might be what we get.
Getting their money's worth on that set.
They are.
Yeah.
They built that set. Might as well keep using it. Yep. Well, I just think that if your first season of the series culminates in some sort of epic battle between Obi-Wan and Darth, how do you come back for a season 2 and have it top that? That's kind of tough,
True.
So I'm not saying I'll take it all, but at
Yeah.
the same time, that might be kind of tricky. You would almost have to have had that happen first and then this be the second season, like, I don't know. Oh, he's writing it down.
No, I'm writing something down for later when we're talking.
Okay. Taking notes live in
He's
action.
going to pass me a note that you can't hear.
Yeah, right. Hold it up.
Matt looks really terrible.
Don't like this at all. Don't like where this is going.
No, nothing to do with you. It has everything to do with Kenobi.
Okay. So opening up the episode, Ben's doing a little meditation, calling out for Qui-Gon again. Hello, Is this fucking thing on? Like Qui-Gon is not answering him, and I would expect at some point he's gonna go, oh, sorry, and then Kenobi's gonna shit his pants. You're really there.
It's just real quiet. What?
Fuck. Just okay. Leave me alone.
Sorry, I've been talking to you the whole time, but I had my fucking teleprompter on mute. It was an accident. Had my little fucking
Zoom call.
Yeah.
Well, or he's gonna say to
The camera
Kenobi,
wasn't on.
Qui-Gon's gonna say, "Have you ever heard the expression, 'I'll sleep when I'm dead', Ben? You heard that? Leave me the fuck alone." You're on your own, dude. But you get a nice gear up sequence from Darth, where you see like all the shit get pulled out of him and put back on him and all that kind of stuff. And so
it's like the dark and twisted version of Tony Stark going Iron Man.
Right, exactly. It doesn't look very pleasant. Looks very painful.
Mm-hmm.
You also get to see his castle a little bit.
Yep.
Is that on Mustafar?
Mustafar. Yeah. It's kind of a weird move to put your castle on the planet where you got torched.
Keeps his anger fresh.
Keeps him. Yeah.
I think that's the Emperor. The Emperor's like, I'm in this guy's head.
I will only give you a castle if you build it on Mustafar.
I know you lost your wife, both your kids, your mentor, your whole family, but we're gonna build you a castle.
You're gonna love it.
On Mustafar.
You're gonna love it.
And we don't have an air conditioner that's gonna cool this place down.
It's a stone's throw from where you were burned to death, almost burned to death.
Who wants a fruit basket?
You think that's where, like, after he gets done talking to Reva, he walks out the
melons.
window? That's what the he's looking at?
Yeah, there it is.
like-
Right there. God damn it.
That really fucking chaps his ass. Where's this Kenobi?
I have the high ground. Fuck.
It's got a little fucking cross like you see on the side of the road where someone gets killed on a motorcycle.
Every day he's got stormtroopers going down there planting a new one because it keeps burning.
Putting a little fucking prayer wreath on it.
How awesome would it have been when he later in the show when he levitates him if he's like, who's got the high ground now, right? How's your fucking high ground?
Just starts talking trash.
He does to a degree in some spots. But anyway, he's clearly fired up. He's looking to hunt down Obi-Wan. He's very, adamant about it. Tells Reva that if she gets it done, basically she can become the Grand Inquisitor. He's like, I've been watching you with the sister, which was a cool thing to hear him say sister because it takes you back to Return of the Jedi,
Her expression was not like, no, you don't know what I want. I don't think, like, she was not amused or, ooh, fuck yeah, I get to be the Grand Inquisitor.
Maybe she's just trying to play it cool.
Didn't seem like that's what she wanted.
It's tough because there's some other motivation there that she's not revealing. And we have thoughts about it, but we don't really know exactly what's going on. I think she thinks that becoming the Grand Inquisitor is a step toward whatever she's trying to accomplish.
Maybe she's his daughter.
Darth's?
No, Obi-Wan's.
Reva's Obi-Wan's daughter.
Yeah.
Where do you get this from?
From my head.
His ass.
Yeah, that's exactly where.
Pulled it out of his ass.
So then you go back to Kenobi and Leia, and she's doing the like, are we there yet? Thing to him. I love that because he's sitting there working on Lola.
Right.
He's just like, it's not how it works, all right? He has a couple like kind of quick trigger father reactions in this episode, which is kind of funny.
Mm-hmm.
When they're walking down the trail, he like blows up on her.
Yeah,
Some people can't trust everyone.
Yeah, right.
It's like, fuck
Yeah,
that,
people
okay.
are not all good.
Yeah.
He yells at her.
Whoa,
Seems to be a bit overcompensating.
it could be.
Like,
I haven't talked to a child in 10 years.
She asked Ben what the Force feels like. They get into that a little bit later, but then he fixes Lola and they come in for their landing on Mapuzo. Is that music? Was that in the first couple episodes, or is that just new to this episode? They kind of have a different vibe with that music coming.
Yeah, well, it kind of had like almost a Mandalorian type vibe, because like as the ship's moving into the planet, it has like that kind of reminded me of something from the Mandalorian.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. So you get a nice shot of the loader droid. What'd you call it? Master Chief?
yeah, he looks like the Master Chief.
Yeah, he
Halo.
does.
Yeah, so you get a shot of one of those. And then those arms-only droids. I love those. They just go in and like pick. Those are kind of cool.
Yeah.
And then, they're walking down the road. And it's funny because like he's looking out at like different outposts of stormtroopers. It almost looked like a video game where you're like, do you want to go over and attack those guys or not?
Yes,
They're not going to notice you over here. You know what I mean? And then Ben has a vision of Anakin.
That's right. Yes.
He sees him standing there in his robes.
With his scowl, right? Like the fucking over his shoulder.
Sort
over
of
the
like
shoulder look.
sort of how he left him last pre-burn marks.
Right.
Mm.
It was the untarnished Anakin.
Yeah, because him knowing that Anakin's alive, right? That's how he's going to envision him. It's still,
Or that other way. But yes, one of those two.
Sure, that's true.
He chooses to remember him that way.
Yeah.
Carries a lot of anger in his eyebrows, if you know what I mean.
Anakin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Constantly.
The light's kind of always shining above him, give that shadow brow.
Yeah. I wonder if you shaved his eyebrows, what he would look like. Just
well, it's almost like what's her name? Ronda Rousey. I remember she was telling the story about that mean look she would give. She's like, I'm trying to look through my eyebrows. That's the mean look I'm giving. That's how she explained how she looks like that.
Okay.
That's so bizarre. Anyway, we return to the, what is it again? Inquisitorius Emporium?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Inquisitorium.
The Inquisitorium.
Right?
There it is. I knew I got that wrong. That entry shot of her walking in, by the way, past like when she first comes in and lands, the visuals of all the ships around her, and then that walk down that corridor, that was fucking gorgeous. I love those shots. They looked really cool.
And they got like a metal detector that's not being manned.
I love it. Well, they had people on the outside of it, and then the second time I was watching it, there's a monitor on the right side of it, and there's a person standing there.
Oh, okay.
But like no one's using it except for she just like plows through it, and she's not even like, "Did I pass?"
The stormtrooper's like,
Yeah. You're good.
just go ahead, waver, move along.
Imperial TSA just not doing their job.
Nope.
I'm gonna need to check your bag. Can I see your saber, please?
It's, what that is it's like a prototype system that they're just practicing right now for when the Death Star is finally up and running. Right now it's not really doing anything.
Is that a mini Bacta tank? I told you no liquids over 7 ounces.
Yeah,
on
that's
the flight.
it's not gonna work.
Not gonna fly. Dump it in the trash.
And then she walks in the room, the situation room or whatever you want to call it. She says he's in a mining system, and then Fifth Brother and her just get into this fucking pissing match. He almost slams her into the table. His voice is getting harder and harder to take. I'm just gonna say, it's so because I went back and listened to the consultant and I were talking about it because we went back and showed the rest of the fam what he sounds like in the animation.
I need to hear what he sounds like. Yeah,
it's got a little more of an accent to it, and it's a little more. It's not so. He sounds like it's barely getting out of his lungs. Every word he says.
Yes, he's very raspy. Yeah,
it's even beyond raspy. It's like it's gaspy. It's like he doesn't have enough air.
Mm-hmm.
Sounds a bit like Snoke. Kind of a little bit like Snoke.
Mm.
Yeah, but I felt like Snoke's voice had a little more weight. I don't know.
Boom.
It's a minor gripe. It's just one of those things where every time he talks, I'm like, oh God, just spit it out. So yeah, then they sent out the probe droids to find him. So that was kind of a cool sequence where they launched
she basically sets him down. She's like, well, I just came from Darth Vader's fucking office, and he wants me to lead the hunt. So should I follow your orders or his?
Yeah.
And then she's like, her acting was way better. She's like, send out the droids.
Yeah.
Do it now. And I'm like, yeah, get him, fucking sister. Third sister.
When they say send out the probes, I'm watching it earlier with my son this time, and he looks at me and goes, probes? I go, yeah. He goes, what are those? I go, you'll see. They're gonna like launch out the droids and go searching. He goes, oh, so they're not going in someone's butt? And I fucking lost it. I started laughing. I was like, what UFO shit are you watching?
Pretty fucking smart for a 9-year-old.
Why are they going to probe Kenobi's ass?
Right.
Yeah, might as well check it out.
Oh, that tickled me.
Digging for oil on Uranus again.
Oh, then we go back to Ben and Leia, and they're trying to find their contact. He's very impatient because he's like, where are they? I shouldn't have trusted him. He gets all
he's
that.
He's a worry wart too. You
Yeah.
can see he's like worrying. He's like, no one's coming here. I knew I shouldn't have trusted him. Like he's fucking just like super fucking.
Well, I think he knows Vader's coming, and he's like he is not focused.
He's miscombobulated.
Yeah.
Well, and I mean, it's like the funny thing is, in the end, if they would have waited there for 2 minutes, then Tala might have shown up. But no, she's like, well, let's go get some help, and that's when she flags down Zach Braff, aka whatever the hell, Freck.
Yep. I wanted to say someone pointed out a couple things on Twitter, and I grabbed their name just because we'll give them a shout out, right? Because I think that's right. Mm-hmm. Hold on, I saved an image. Alexis Anderson, so it's at Alexis with an I, 1 Anderson, says, so in the time since she's been kidnapped, Leia's pinned up braids have started coming loose, and one of them is dangling in the exact position of a Padawan braid.
I saw that.
Yeah.
She was like, it's I can't stop thinking about it.
Mm-hmm.
That was kind
foreshadowing.
Of interesting.
Yeah. It's foreshadowing. And also the little green outfit she's wearing, she almost looks like she's on
Andor.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. And none of that stuff's ever by mistake. It's not like it came out and they're like, well, we got to keep it now. It's like, no, that was on purpose.
That's a happy mistake if it had.
Typically that's on purpose. So then Freck pulls up, and that's when you get because I think the way she says it is, she said something like, we were trying to get to another world or something, and we got lost in this field. It's like, that's a weird story.
Yeah.
I love that line.
He's like a turncoat Ned Flanders. Freck. He's like so cheery. How are you doing, guys?
Yep.
Well, he's one of those guys that's like you're talking and they're real nice and stuff, and they're like, yeah, but I just hate the gays, right? And you're like, whoa, what? How did that come out of nowhere?
You really get that because like as he goes around to the back to get on, there's the Empire flag with the symbol on it.
Yeah.
And it sort of reminds me like if you're in the South and there's a Confederate flag on a truck.
Right. And Ben like totally. And Ben stops for a second, is like, oh fuck, well, I guess we're doing this.
We're not gonna hoof it all the way.
And then they pick up the stormtroopers, and that gets awkward because they're looking for a Jedi. The voices on these stormtroopers were just hysterical.
Yeah.
It's like so funny because like they haven't seen a Jedi in like 10 years, but Obi-Wan looks like that motherfucker looks like a Jedi.
Mm-hmm.
Like
right.
He's wearing the robe and the fucking white shit, and I'm like, man.
Maybe that was him kind of clowning them when he's like, I wouldn't even know what they look like.
Right. And he keeps like
closing
his robe. There's no lightsaber under here.
I just got the vision of the DiCaprio thing again. I wouldn't know one either. And then how about the improv work by Leia where she's like, we were here to see where my parents met, but my mom's, like fucking just rolls right into that. That was clever. Well, I mean, it technically is true.
Sure.
Her mother is dead. Mm-hmm. And then Dum Ben calls her Leia.
Right.
He's losing it. He's not as sharp as he used to be.
No. He rolls out of it pretty nicely. But yeah, that first response.
He recovers. But I really think it's because he's fucking like, when's the boogeyman showing up?
Yeah.
Like, that's all he can fucking think about.
Vader got him shook.
He's
shook,
he
does.
for sure. Yeah.
Shook,
Ben is shook. And then, he says he confuses it all the time because she looks so much like his mother. So you get this like cute little moment there. And then the troopers get off. I love it. Somebody pointed this out. I don't know who it was that there's I guess in a lot of different Star Wars series and stuff, I can't remember all the instances, there's always some like subtle little reference to a T-16. And that's what they say when they get off. One of the guys goes, I'll check out that T-16 when they get off. I don't know why that it's this dumb thing they keep referencing.
Mm-hmm.
So then she picks up on the fact that she's like, you knew my mom, didn't you? He's like, oh, fuck.
Oh, this is her fucking so in touch with the Force.
Force intuition.
The way she's looking at him.
Calling him out from the
tell.
beginning. You're lying to me about something.
Yep.
She asked him if he's her dad. Too.
Yeah.
Like, you my dad.
Yeah.
Maybe it'd be funny if she was like, you knew my mother, didn't you? And he's like, no, I'm just a great actor. I just sold that bit. Like, no, you're not that good.
Acting!
Yeah. Are you my real father? And he says, I wish I could say I was. And then she says, sometimes I imagine what he was like. And Ben's like, oh, he was a real piece of shit. Sorry to sour your views of what your dad might have been like.
He hated sand.
He murdered children. You know that, right?
Yeah.
Like, he just starts rattling off everything he's done.
Oh, then so he kind of goes into too, like he's like, I never knew my dad either. He's like, we were taken as Jedi, we were taken from our families really young. So that kind of makes me wonder, did they like snatch him up, force sensitive kids, or was it like voluntary? Like, hey, because who gives up their kid?
No, this is. I mean, they do the same with Anakin when they go to Tatooine and take him. That's like a known thing. They take the children young. Yeah, because
well, I know they take them young, but do the parents have to consent, or they just be like, hey, he's going to be a Jedi?
I feel like there's probably a consent.
There's a consent. There's a consent form.
Sometimes there's like a Republic stipend.
Yep.
Yeah, it's given. Yeah.
You'll see him someday. It's just like a lifetime camp. Just think of it that way.
Yeah, it's like a reverse. Like Sally Struthers adopt a child from
right.
Like once a month they send a picture back to her with a letter.
Listen, kid, it's a glamorous life. No pay. You can't love anyone. You gotta fucking go do this menial work all across the galaxy, trade disputes, blah 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 blah. But you get to move shit.
Yeah, you move shit with your hands. Yeah, it's pretty sweet. So you get to have a saber one day. It's gonna take a while, but you'll get there.
Yeah, you have like some Jack Nicholson kind of character at the temple. Dear Indugu, this fucking kid writing back to the parents, sending letters. Do you ever see About Schmidt?
No.
Where he adopts a child. He's in an unhappy marriage, so he adopts like the save a child, whatever it is, and then writes the fucking child all the time and complains about his life. It's fucking hysterical.
Well, then he mentions his brother, Obi-Wan. He's like,
that's what I wanted.
I had a brother. So this whole story where like originally it was gonna be Owen. George Lucas was originally gonna have Owen Lars be his brother. And then they changed
the second draft, I believe, or something like that.
Something like that. They changed it. But then I've seen other stuff where they say there's some books that have come out since where they say his brother's name is Owen. I've seen it go a couple different directions. One says his name is Owen, it's a different Owen or whatever. I've seen another one say that it was like a vision he was having, but it was actually of the future, and he's envisioning Owen as his brother because that's who he gives Luke to, blah, 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 like almost like a ceremonial brother type situation. So who the fuck knows? I don't know if it's a real brother or not, but that's his memory.
I just felt like that was like a plant, and then years later they can pick up with some story where there's like another Kenobi.
They're saying which Owen is his brother? Uncle Owen?
Uncle Owen.
Or not Owen Lars, the guy that...
The same guy. Uncle Owen and Owen Lars are the same guy.
Who's the guy that fucking dates Shmi?
Clegg.
Clegg.
That's his dad.
Where did I get Owen?
Well, Owen's his son.
Wait, who the fuck is Clegg?
What do you mean? Who's Clegg?
He's the guy in the wheelchair.
Yeah, he's the guy he's the one that marries Shmi. And then and Anakin sees him and meets him in Attack of the Clones.
But he's not Anakin's father.
He's Owen's father. He's Anakin's stepfather.
Yes.
Right.
And that's where Uncle Owen comes in.
Correct.
So he's an uncle through marriage.
Right. And so originally it was that George was going to say that Owen was actually his father. Now here's the thing. If Owen was his brother and they try to like bring that back into play, you know how much of a dick that makes Obi-Wan look like in A New Hope when he's like, that could have lead him back to home. And he's like, no, Luke, don't go. And then Luke comes back. He's like, nothing you could have done. That was his brother.
Yeah, he let his brother die, yeah.
So I don't know if they want to retcon that.
Yeah. No, that would be too weird.
Yeah. He still owed me $50 from the third grade. Fuck him.
Plus, it couldn't be because, unless Owen moved to fucking Tatooine, but Kenobi talks about the planet he was born on. Stu John, yeah. Yep.
Yeah, so who knows? I don't know. Anyway. So, Freck. Back to Freck. Fucking sneaky Freck. He drives them up to a checkpoint and then just sells them out. Thanks a lot, Freck. You might want to check these two out. Fucking asshole. And then when they step out, that probe droid comes in. I love that. The stormtrooper's like, lift your head, so he can get a little scan on him. Could have probably shot earlier, so they actually didn't get the scan on his face. But I guess for emotion and tension.
Maybe he was looking to see maybe he didn't need to, like if he passed it.
Yeah.
Because it was sort of like the second it went, he's like, fucker's got to die.
Shoot you now.
Yeah.
So
and then now when the stormtrooper was like, activate Project 23 or whatever he says.
Protocol
23.
Yeah, that was to bring the other troops, right? That wasn't the droid. Because
that was the droid.
Oh, because to me the droid was the probe droid they launched from Or did they call it? Were they like aware
I think they
that
were calling
the Inquisitors had launched? Okay.
It could have been the troops, but my thought was that, yes, that they were calling the probe droid in to like do an ID on
Okay.
him.
Yeah. Because they were aware that the Inquisitors had sent one there.
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep. Yeah. And so, yeah, he shoots that thing, shoots a couple troopers, and then he shoots the one trooper from the tower who falls. And I gasped when it happened. I was like, whoa, like, holy shit, he cut him in half.
Yep.
And in a weird angle. Like it like cuts across like halfway through his pelvis or something. It's a bizarre slice. It's creepy.
This ain't your grandmother's Star Wars. They've been cutting off hands.
Yep.
Fucking cutting troopers in half.
Yeah. And then he kills the last one who was holding Leia hostage. You could tell she knew what was coming. She kind of like ducks, like, I know you're going to shoot him now. So that was kind of cool. Mm-hmm. And then I love how he's like trying to disable the laser gate. You can just walk around, you know that, right?
That's what I said.
Yeah, like you said.
Sat there, come on, this fucking thing.
That was like a whole Han Solo thing, though. Just fucking shoots it.
Yeah, true. It makes it more dramatic. But yeah, he literally could have walked around. And then that's when the new trooper transport comes in. And my first thought when it came in was I was like, he just smoked like 4 guys. Why is he just surrendering to 3? Just start firing.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
It's like the lifeboat on the Titanic there. They didn't really fill that thing up, did they?
No, just a few. And then there's a female trooper there too, which I don't remember us ever getting a female stormtrooper before. We had a female death trooper in Clone Wars or something, or Bad Batch.
Well, Phasma, she had to have moved up from...
That's true. That's a good point.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then, they think they're cooked, and that's when Tala shoots them all. Very reminiscent of Rise of the Skywalker when Hux does that, when they're all sitting there getting ready to get smoked, Poe and Finn.
Yeah. Now, is her name Tala, or weren't they were from the planet Tala?
No, they were from Tal.
Tal, okay.
And this is the planet, or this is the character's name is Tala.
Okay.
So do you think she was playing as undercover, like just an imposter, or do you think she's actually Empire?
She's Empire.
She says it later on, right? She's like, I joined up when the Empire meant something.
Yeah.
And then like...
She's a double agent.
So she's like, what's his face from Rebels?
Andor.
The guy with
Rebels.
the fucking wiffle ball helmet.
Hux.
Nope.
No.
Oh, yes, you're talking about Callus.
Callus.
Yes.
I had to tip my tongue too.
Yeah, and I think she... As I was reading it today, there was some article that came out where she was basically explaining that, like, the character has stayed with the Empire because she feels like she can do more good by, she can move more freely and all that kind of stuff and get more shit done if she continues to fake like an. And that's what Leia asked her later. Is it hard to act like somebody else or whatever she says to her? So she keeps that job as kind of a way to help. Right. I think.
Yeah, and then she kind of leads them back to the safe house where you discover the Underground Railroad for the Jedi.
Yeah,
pretty much.
Well,
cool.
And you see those turtle ships. Remember when they look up at the top of the mountain where those pilots are leaving? There's those turtle ships that we saw in Jeddah that Bodhi flew.
Yeah.
So I thought that was kind of a cool little tie-in. And she says she's got a pilot ready to get him out. Now, when you hear that, are you like, who's the pilot? Who's the pilot going to
be? Yeah.
That was what I thought, too.
Mm-hmm. Turns out, nobody.
Yeah. No.
Some scab.
Well, I mean, he was somebody to somebody, I think.
It's somebody to somebody. It's a good point. Thank you.
But he's nobody now.
Yeah. Pilot number 1. Sorry. And also, just kind of on the side, because they're flipping back and forth, back at the Inquisitorium, they're going over kind of the details of Mapuzo, and that's where the Fourth Sister orders them to shut down all the ports. I actually really like the Fourth Sister. She doesn't do much, but I like her character. I like it the way she just kind of spits shit out. Mm-hmm. Not in that way. Sorry, Fifth Brother. Sorry.
She's kind of like out of the politics, just doing her job type of a character, I think.
She's very driven.
Kind of a screamer. Do it!
She does kind of yell at him.
Send in the gods!
But Tala gets them into that safe house. Like you said, they meet Ned B, the loader droid.
Yeah.
I want to talk about...
What a name.
Yeah, I want to talk about him later. And what that might mean. She reveals this is one of many safe houses, like you said, and it's like the path is what they call it. They're all kind of interconnected, and they're all trying to get him to Jabeam. I love that name.
Yeah, Jabeam.
I was like, what did I miss? What's Jabeam?
I looked it up, and there was some reference to, I guess, Obi-Wan and Anakin had both gone there back in the Clone Wars or something. I didn't. It was one of those where I kind of read to Jabeam. It's one of those where I kind of read a little bit of it. I'm like, okay, that's enough. I'm like,
is Jabeam the one that they talk about? Remember when I was watching Revenge of the Sith?
No.
And they talk about a mission that they... Okay.
That's... Oh, what is that?
The one where he saved his butt and he says, I've saved your butt 10 times.
Cato Nemoria.
Yeah, it doesn't count.
Business son, Cato Nemoria.
Yeah, okay. All right.
Right, yep. Oh, she's saying basically they're going after Jedi and Force-sensitive kids and all that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when we get the big bomb drop when Ben's like, Quinlan. You remember Quinlan Voss?
Yeah.
Yeah. He's the one with the calves, right?
No leg day.
Calves
Skipping
and the
leg
jumper.
days.
No. You're thinking of Kit Fisto. Kit Fisto was all upper body.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
well, I know
Quinlan
you're
was the
talking-
jumper.
He was
Yes,
the
yes.
Zero the Hutt episode, right? He was trying to track down Zero.
Was
yeah,
he in that?
and then
Okay.
there's the one where they're running like the floating cliffs or whatever.
They fight
and
Cad.
Cad Bane is in there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right. Yep.
Yeah.
And they don't really like each other, Ben and Quinlan. But clearly
Right.
he's come a little ways around. Because he kind of gets a little smile on his face like, oh, he's still around. That's cool.
Well, when you're at the end of your rope and you find out one of them survived, I suppose you're like, oh, good for him.
And he's got a transcription or an inscription on the wall. Only when the eyes are closed can you truly see.
Yeah.
So I figured that would have been from Kanan, but nope.
Oh, harsh. That hasn't happened yet.
I know.
That also is very reminiscent of what Maz Kanata says to Rey in The Force Awakens. She's talking about the Force, and she says, close your eyes, feel it, the light. So I thought that was a nice little tie back to that, and I love Maz Kanata, so had to make that reference.
Yeah.
So then the troopers start checking out the safe house, but move on because, troopers. You just got to be patient, and they'll move on. And she's like, fuck, we got to go. Like, we got to move this shit up. They're here, and just as they're about to head up those tunnels, Ben has a heart attack.
Whoa, shit, does he?
He's like, my acid reflex just kicked in.
What did I eat earlier? I haven't even eaten today.
AC? Yeah. Need some Pepsid AC.
And then they check the door and see Boss Man Vader walk in. That motherfucker is just killing people for fun.
I will tell you what, that whoever is writing this sat in a room for a while and was like, how do I fucking make Rogue One look like fucking chump change?
Yeah.
Oh, I know. Just gonna start dragging motherfuckers out of their fucking doorway and just killing them.
He kills he pulls the dad first, and then the son comes out to defend him, and he just snaps the kid's
Snaps his
Yes.
neck.
I'm like, man.
Right.
Yeah.
So, like, as much as I don't even know, a little while back they were saying Kenobi was going to have a whatever rating, and we're like, oh, really? When you see the guy get sliced in half earlier, and then now you see this where he literally, like you said, that was the most shocking one. He pulls that kid out, just goes, crick, and just snaps his fucking neck. Then he drags that gal along the ground.
The woman, yeah. No lasso, nothing. He's just like, you're coming with me.
Such an asshole.
Takes pleasure in the kids, doesn't he?
Well, because it's the whole thing they played off in the first episode, right? Is like they know the Jedi is going to come out and protect somebody.
Yes.
So he's doing this because he's like, Kenobi, come out and fucking play,
Draw
bitch.
him out, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. What this kicks off with this whole like kind of I don't know pursuit scene. It's not so much a chase, but it's very like except for not having the shh, 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 it's a total horror scene. Because everywhere he goes, like Darth keeps popping up in front of him. He's like, God damn it! I mean, it's very '80s horror style sequence.
Or he's running like toward the camera, and then all of a sudden, how'd Vader get in front of him? The fucking saber goes off.
Oh yeah, they're in a wide open quarry. Like I rewinded this part, and then all of a sudden Vader comes in screen right. I'm like, where did you come from? There's like a fucking wide open field. Were you laying down like covered in sand?
Definitely not laying down in the sand.
No, definitely not. Can you imagine the sand getting inside of that armor?
Oh man.
He's like, it's in my respirator. I'm aspirating on it.
Yeah, and then when so Ben just keeps scurrying away, which is funny. Like the first time he sees him, he just like goes run, and Darth Vader's like, okay. And so
He's still got a bit of courage to him, though. He's like he sends Leia and he sends Tala through the tunnel and
Get her
to
all
lead
around.
him away. But he's got to be fucking pissing his fucking robes, like. He's scared to shitless, but he's like...
Is he scared of Vader? Or is he just like, what is the unknown? How has he survived? Like, how is this Anakin?
He's a broken fucking Jedi.
Yeah.
He's still got the courage, I think. But man, is he a fucking
I don't
feeble.
think he's flicked the light back on yet. That's the thing. And now, once we get to the end and we what happens, I think now he's like, you know what? I think I'm going to have to, get in touch with the other side here.
This is like Rocky 3. Pretty much.
Yeah.
So what's funny is on Twitter that was happening. I think some of the Podawan guys were talking about it, and then I sent an image of the scene where he and Apollo are running, and I was like, "Fucking Beef Cargo is going to need to kind of help train him."
I didn't even put that together. That Carl Weathers. Yeah.
Yeah. He definitely needs a training sequence.
He just walks in. There is no tomorrow, Ben.
I think he's going to wake up and
No pain.
Tala, what's her name?
Tala.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think he's going to be like, in a tent somewhere, and she's going to be rubbing some fucking oils on him for his burns. And they're going to have like some romantic conversation. And all of a sudden, It's gonna waken up the man, and there's a neon light in the tent that says "Happy Endings, $25." And he's like, "I got 25, 25 credits."
He's like, "Oh shit, I don't have any money." God damn it.
You get a discount if you can pay me in calamari flan.
When he finally hears him again and ignites a saber, because you're waiting for him to ignite a saber.
Yeah.
And he finally does. And you're like, oh shit. And part of me wondered too, I thought, he's got both those sabers. Why not mind fuck him and pull out his saber? Pull out Anakin's saber.
Does he have the other one on him?
Yeah, he's got both, because remember he dug them both up from the desert.
Right, but I don't know if he took both.
I assume he's
Looking
got
for
both.
this?
Yeah, remember
Twirls
this? Can I give you a hand? But that's when he says, what have you become? And just the fucking shot to the gut. I am what you made me. Oh, sorry about that.
We are who they thought they were.
Oh, man. Kind of on the side, they show Reva like sniff out the safe house. Yeah. And she sees like those etchings on the wall.
What'd she get so pissed off for?
Because she was in there. She came through there, I bet.
That's a good thought.
She came through. She recognized that.
She was way too fucking angry, though.
So she saw this symbol.
Right. No, she saw the
light of
Jedi.
the
Yes,
the Jedi
light
Order.
Of the
yep.
Jedi Order, and then so I think she recognized that, and that's why she goes into the tunnel after Leia. But then she's like, I know where that leads because I've been through here.
Oh.
Okay.
So she doubles back, comes around, finds the shortcut because basically I'm sure that tunnel is in like a serpentine, right?
Sure.
And then so she goes around, goes right to where that tunnel comes out, kills the fucking pilot, waits for Leia.
Brilliant.
That's why she doesn't run into Tala too. Tala runs back.
Right, she runs back. Yeah, that's a good theory. I like that theory a lot. I wasn't thinking about her
Nailed it
as having gone through there before. I was just thinking about the fact that one, she realized what that place was, but two, she kind of looked at that order symbol like, bringing back a flood of memories for herself.
Yeah.
But I didn't think about the fact that she could have actually come through that tunnel herself. That's a good call.
I was thinking it was more of a
65%.
They've been doing.
Someone slap me, boost us back down.
Well, my thought was like she was upset because this has existed the whole time and she wasn't. She had to go sign up to take me to the Inquisitorium because I'm sick of eating rats.
Yeah.
Or those guys,
Right. Yep.
So now she's like, fuck, there's proof. They're living, they're channeling these people somewhere, and here I am running around all pissed off in a black cloak.
Information I could have used yesterday.
Yeah, right.
Can't you just go home?
I think you nailed it though.
That's a good call.
What happened.
I like that theory.
That's what I think.
Because I was thinking of how does she get there? I just figured she's looking at it, sees where the tunnel's going, knows there's a port up top, and just goes, oh, she's got to be going to that port. And then she swoops around and gets in front of it. That's all I was thinking, but that's a good call on your part.
I don't know. As soon as she goes in there, she had this air of familiarity about this.
I didn't get that she was familiar. I thought it felt more like she was using her whole fucking detective skills, force, whatever. And she just moves that thing, goes in the door. But yeah, it was when she saw that thing, she just like chucks the shit on the table and gets all mad. I'm like, oh, what's this about? So yeah.
Good call.
Interesting.
Yeah, and then Leia, of course, is like telling Tala, you need to go back and help him. And she does. Like, you're going to just leave the kid on her own?
Right.
Ben would not be happy. Now, I know you come around and help save him, but at the same time, he's probably like, why did you leave a 10-year-old who looks like an 8-year-old by herself in a tunnel going to meet a pilot she's never met? Stranger danger. What the fuck?
Well, she had a braid coming loose. It looked like she was a Padawan. She looked like she could take care of herself.
There you go, yeah.
So, yeah, the Vader Kenobi battle resumes, if you want to call it that one. Very one-sided. And Ben, I was just thinking, one, like we talked about, he's got to get back in Jedi shape because he is just getting smoked. But Vader does this cool thing where I don't know what he dumps out of that container, but he ignites it, and that's when all the flames come up. That was a sick little move he did. And then when he pulls him in there, it was like,
right when that shit ignited, I called it. I said, he's going to burn his ass. Yeah.
And yeah, that's when and it looks very reminiscent of a scene we've seen before.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was waiting for him to be like, I hate you, just for fun.
Trying to break his concentration with the Force.
Right, exactly. Your pain has just begun, he said. And so it's clear that he just wants to fuck with them. It's clear that he's taking out years of anger and frustration and all this, these bitter feelings toward him, and he just wants to just drag him through the shitter. He doesn't want to give him a quick death. He wants to torture the fuck out of him. So, which
is why he puts the flames out, right? He's like, no, we ain't letting you burn to death.
Right, exactly. I'm just going to give you a little. Like, I'm going to take you to the edge. I'm going to bring you back. So,
yeah.
So then that's why I think he just lets Ned take him away, pick him up and take him away. The stormtroopers are still trying to get him, and he's like, "Don't worry about it, guys. It's fine. I'm just gonna leave. Good luck." Oh, so then Tala's like tells Ned, like, go get the transport. We need to get him to Jabeam. So he is going to Jabeam.
Yeah.
But then that's when we see Leia get walk right into the Reva trap, the CSI Reva trap, and she's like, "It's okay, come close." And yeah, so now she's kidnapped again.
Yep. Now, I think the next episode is we're going to get Reva backstory.
You think so?
Because really, it's going to be telling as to what she does with Leia.
Could be. That's a good point. I figured they're going to start it, maybe not so much with Tala rubbing aloe on his back and pleasing him, but with him being in maybe the flashback to Tank, and maybe we get some Clone Wars flashbacks.
Ooh, yeah. Let's go back.
I mean, it's a little bit of a, it's a rip-off of what was happening with Book of Boba there, but I could see him, he's having these visions.
Right, and it would work to see Anakin pre-burns, right? So we get all of that.
To bring him back and only have him in that one scene where Ben sees a vision of him in the fucking side of the road, that's they're going to do more. So I would think that we will see some sort of Clone Wars flashbacks. I don't know who else would be included. I don't know if you see
Ahsoka.
I don't know if you see Satine memories. I don't know what else you might see, but I assume that's what we're going to see potentially at the beginning of this episode, is him coming back and being nursed back to health and having these visions.
I agree.
A la Book of Boba Fett.
Yeah.
And then Leia's going to be taken to the Emporium or the Inquisitorium, and that's when they're going to have to bust her out. Because I don't know if you remember about the trailer showed a fight happening on that hangar deck.
She's with all of the stormtroopers behind her. She's fucking lightsaber
Reva,
out. Yeah, blocking lasers. And I think it shows a ship. So, he's going to go for Leia.
I would think so.
Get you.
Yeah.
Did we call it with Tala and old boy from the planet being the first seeds of the rebellion? Yes, no, maybe so.
Old boy from the planet. What do you mean?
The Kumjar. What's his name?
Oh, yeah. Kamal Nanjiani?
Kamal Nanjiani.
Yeah.
Haja.
So,
is his name.
Haja, sorry. He. So are we calling that? Are they fucking first seeds of the rebellion?
I think different ways though. I think there's
Maybe
these
like
cells, right? Because she seems to be doing more like hiding Jedis, where he is.
Sounds like
he's hiding Jedis. Yeah. Well, and they're working together because she got the call from him.
Exactly. So, they are working together.
Ground floor. Part of the founding members. Founding members.
Yeah, could be. Is there somebody inside Ned B, or is it really just a droid?
I think it's just a droid.
Damn it. Yeah. There's the way the droid moves and grabs the hammer and shit. When it's just supposed to be a loiter droid.
It's programmed different, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, because it was definitely like, I'm a bodyguard.
Right.
Yeah, a droid doesn't just grab a fucking hammer.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I was saying. Yeah, right. Yeah. It looked out of character.
Where was the droid? Oh, he was already on the... Yeah, because he wasn't in there when Reva's in there. So he already left. Like, well, I better go to the quarry. I know something's happening.
What if it's a young Krill? Young Krill.
Oh, Quill?
Just Quill. Like in the chest plate.
I have spoken.
Yeah.
He just pops out. I have spoken.
Remember me? So. Yeah, I don't know. The thought crossed my mind. Is that because there's something weird going on with that droid? Something's fishy about that droid. I don't know. So I was thinking.
And like in the trailer, that's not the same droid that has. Was it the hammer? Did it end up being a hammer?
Yeah.
Or was there? Okay, that was that shot. Okay.
Yeah, that was.
We thought it was a gun.
Right, but I thought at one point they showed him actually use the hammer on the droid or on the trooper. But maybe
something.
I'm thinking of something else.
Because there was two different shots. I thought
that could happen.
I'll have to go back.
Do we see Quinlan?
I don't. Well, yeah, maybe because I think we're gonna see what's the name of the planet? Jabeam. Yeah, I think like if they
like Jim
do go there, exactly. If they do go there, maybe that's where we see. We could see what Cal.
Well, we could see the whole operation essentially.
Yep, we could see a young, right? We could see a young Freddie Prinze Jr.
Oh, Kanan.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, potentially.
No, he would be dead.
No, he's not dead. He's alive.
Yes, he's alive during this. It's still 10 years. Yeah.
But yeah, I think either way, she said at one point, I think that all those roads kind of lead to Jabeam. Like Jabeam is where they're trying to get everybody, and that's where they get new identities, and they try to, send them off somewhere.
And then send them off. Yep.
So, and sometimes they send them off, and maybe they end up being an Inquisitor, a la Cole's theory.
Mm-hmm.
How many more times do you think Vader and Kenobi face off? Just the once, right? And
one more time.
Finale?
Yeah.
Yeah, I would think so.
I don't think he's harrying him through the galaxy.
Well, the other thing I thought about too when they were talking about children with Quinlan is I thought about Cole's other theory, Grogu.
So that's how. Yeah.
Was
Quinlan saves him?
Was he the one who
maybe
saved him, or was he the one who helped
or
facilitate get him moved
got
on
him
and
in the path.
somewhere else?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
There's a lot of ways they could go with this. I thought about too. We've got to see the Grand Inquisitor come back. You would think, because I mean, she's going to want to get that role, but I'm wondering if does she get to that Grand Inquisitor status and then kind of has like this epiphany or change of heart at some point? Because you feel like she's going to turn and do something that's not in line with whatever they're doing. Or is it going to happen a different way? Because the Grand Inquisitor's got to come back.
Yeah, I don't see her becoming a Grand Inquisitor because in order for her to become one, then Kenobi has to be dead, right?
He has to have killed her. Or she has had to have helped him get killed by Vader.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
True. Could be.
Because it wasn't just like Vader's like, if you find him, the job's yours.
Do you think, though, that she goes to Vader at some point and goes, so why does he get to be Grand Inquisitor? He didn't help you kill Kenobi. I got to help you fucking kill Kenobi to get that spot? What did he do?
I don't know if I would go to Vader and complain about anything.
He's got two. That's not fair.
That's one of those where they're like, all feedback is welcome. Just kidding. It's not at all. It's not welcome at all.
Yeah.
I have an open chamber policy.
Okay. Anything else on Kenobi?
No, other than like the when they were fighting, it was sort of reminiscent of Revenge of the Jedi with Luke just fucking beating Vader down. And
yes.
Anakin, Vader's the same thing on Kenobi.
Vader was fucking one-handing him too.
He was. Yeah, he did that like double like tap to like smash him on the shoulder.
Yeah.
I mean, he could have fucked him up all different ways, but he just decided to just, he was playing with his food, like he was just fucking with him.
Yeah, he really was, yeah.
And so, I mean, that's why a lot of people are so mad like, "Oh, why the fuck? This is what you give us after we're waiting for this big battle." It's like, yeah, to use a Rocky trope, what happens to Rocky when he fights Mr. T in Rocky 3? He gets a fucking ass beat. Then he comes back, trains, whoops his ass. So you would think that you had to show Kenobi getting his ass whooped because he's so far.
I love how people are fucking bitching when there's 3 more episodes left.
They always do. People
like they dropped the ball already.
You think there's gonna be a point in time when like Vader and Obi-Wan are going back and forth, and Obi-Wan's like, "Not so bad, ain't so bad,
He ain't so bad. Come on,
I ain't breathing heavy.
Hit me harder. Hit me harder. Come on, champ.
Hit me harder. Darth's just like, shut up, fucking swinging.
You're so bad. You ain't nothing.
I hate you.
And then they're going to do that music thing every time he hits with the saber. Da-na, da-na. Like, fuck, how many times are you going to do it before he goes out?
I would fucking blow my load. Get him, screaming.
Mr. T actually shows up. Mr. T trains him. No.
It's Clubber Lang comes in. He's got bionic arms. Like Jax from fucking Mortal Kombat. Dude, we're going off the rails.
He's the first brother.
Wow. All right, you ready?
Unbelievable.
You ready for the Maul Bag?
Yep.
Hello there.
You've got mail.
We got 3 Maul Bag entries. Thank you very much. First one is from Brian Auer. Okay. So halfway through the series and easily the best series to date, I firmly believe the shorter series give us a better expanded story without the need for filler episodes. Highlights: 1, Vader bringing the pain. Sure. 2, female stormtrooper, finally. 3, loader droid, eye candy, and a mate for L337.
Oh yeah, he could just lift her up. I don't think she's into like men droid. Well,
I think she likes beings. I think she likes, actual live beings. She doesn't like her own kind.
Well, she wanted to save them all.
That's true. Good point. Effectiveness of laser gates. Yep. He wants to see more of 1, Vader's palace. He'd like to see him tinkering with a TIE Advance now that they showed the hangar deck. Tinkering. He goes out there underneath the hood.
Wasn't when she lands at the Inquisitorium, right? Mm-hmm. In the background, wasn't that like the Emperor's ship?
It was one of those, whatever those
yeah.
things are called. Those
Triangles.
Yes,
Triangle
the Delta,
ships.
Not Delta. What are they called? Jesus Christ! Somebody's yelling at us right now. Something like that.
Brian Auer is.
Oh yeah, right now. Yeah. He's like, I'm done with this show.
Number 2, Yoda answering Ben and giving a "fucked we are" when he hears Anakin survived.
Yep.
And he says Stormy's going native. Maybe the helmet with a poncho.
Oh,
The things you think about, Brian.
Oh, here's a question I have, and someone can send in the answer, or we could look it up right now. Why do they have like the cylinder like back on their tailbone?
It's hand warmers for when they're playing the big game.
It's just like when they rub. Okay.
No, it's a flashlight.
I figure it's like where they put their check, and then when they get to the bank, they've already got the tube on.
Oh, now that would be handy. I was gonna say, is it that or more of like a fanny pack, but it's just on the back?
Right. Yeah.
It's a tramp stamp pack.
We don't take Imperial credits here. What am I gonna do with this tube? Carrying it all over the fucking galaxy.
You know, if you bring that little Leia with us, we'll give her a lollipop. That's always my favorite back in the day. All right, thank you, Brian. Email number 2 from Slewfoot Fred. Hi, guys. Loving this series and what's transpired so far. Couple thoughts. After you guys mentioned the promotional material and seeing Vader reflecting in Reva's eye, I can't help but think that she may turn from her dark side ways and end up trying to help Kenobi in the end. She was a Padawan at one point and probably still has some good in her. Kenobi, after what we see in episode 3, could certainly use the help. I think Vader will end up getting rid of her in the end, but not before she helps Kenobi escape somehow. That would be a great twist. And just as a note there, yes, once I saw the Leia one that shows Ben in her eye, that poster, I was like, well, there goes that theory I had because that's why I was thinking that Reva was seeing Vader instead of Kenobi. You know, it looked adversarial, but then it didn't. So okay. I think that theory might be a little bit screwy. Maybe it's just me looking too much into it.
We really called it about Leia not being in episode 3.
Sure did. Yeah.
Nailed that. Well,
we're dropping her off and being done with it.
Because, I mean, I get that she's providing the motivation for certain things to happen, but it's also giving him this exposure to this whole network that he wouldn't have known about otherwise. But for me,
I kind of love it. I kind of like it.
It's good, but the reason I was not thinking that they would continue to use her as much, I should have known, but was that like your point, Jay, was you're like, they talked about how they didn't want to do the lone cub or lone wolf, whatever, cub and wolf thing, whatever that is, whatever that fucking expression is.
Lone wolf and cub.
Lone wolf and cub. They didn't want to do that because that was kind of the Mandalorian storyline. So that's why I thought, they'll just use her to kind of get to the next thing and then they're going to move on. But yeah, at this point, I don't know. I mean, we're going to get at least one more episode of her.
Yep.
So
I do like her sass though. Like
I
there's her character, there's enough meaning for her to be there, right? Other than just like, oh, well, he's got to keep her safe until he gets her back. Like there's, the conversations about the mother and, we learn more about Obi-Wan through the conversation.
Absolutely.
Like, she's got something to add to the show.
I think some of the best acting moments have been Ewan talking to her and explaining things to her and like trying to work shit out in his head. I think that's been some of the best part of this series is those little moments. Mm-hmm. And she's great. Like, her facial expressions, her acting is fantastic. And she, she just, like even when he shoots the stormtrooper that had her at gunpoint, there's this look on her face of like, holy fuck, thank you. Like she emotes really well. And there was another funny point where when he says Leia, I think they've got it covered. When he fucks up and says her name. Yes. Did you see what she does? She goes, what? Like she does this total modern day kid reaction to what he says. It was pretty funny.
I just need to fix that hip dysplasia for her when she runs.
well, that and when they're walking down the trail, there's like a mid shot of the two of them, and she has like this fucking weird waddle as she's walking, and I'm like, did she shit her diaper? What is going on here?
Well, and that's where people were saying like, how the hell does Reva get ahead of her? And I'm like, have you seen her run? She's not going very fast.
She's been riding too many T-16s.
Yeah, there you go.
It's like riding a horse.
I also love the relationship being built between Kenobi and Leia. It certainly is making sense why she names her son Ben many years later. As always, love the show, gents. Fred. Thank you, Fred.
I forgot about that. Good point, Fred.
Wow,
nice
tie.
Yes. Email number 3 from Derek, I assume. Big fan of the show and especially Neighbor Cole.
Hey-o.
Fucking Neighbor Cole fan club.
Didn't you say the same thing last week?
Yes. He is president of the Neighbor Cole fan club.
Yes.
I'm sending them an autograph picture.
I was going to say, do you have a newsletter that goes out?
I sure do.
A few questions about episode 3 of Kenobi. Number 1, we are 3 episodes into a 6-episode series. Do you think they are sticking with the Mando formula of getting Leia back to Alderaan as the whole point of the show? Is that the whole point of the show is what he's asking?
I think it's the whole point, but I think it was the catalyst to get things going, right?
It got him off the planet. It gets him in touch with this rebellion that's building and this network of Jedi saving that's going on. So she's a means to get to that. But also, like we talked about, there's a lot of stuff we're learning about him and her and their backstories just by their conversations.
And now we're going to learn real quickly that this isn't the first time she's going to be saved from like an Imperial cell.
Right.
Wow.
when he goes to get her, you know?
Exactly.
She's always dick to her fucking rescuer too.
Yeah.
She was rude to Ben too. You know, she's like rude to him. But I think that's gonna be like the meat in the stew. You know what I mean? Like you got the stew, you got the carrots and the peas and the meat and the potatoes.
Is that what's in the stew?
The
Okay.
meat
All
The
right.
stew is gonna be this plot line.
Yeah.
You guys like that analogy?
No, I just love the way Jay goes, is that what's in the stew?
Yeah.
It was like, that was such an interviewer like response. I'm with you.
Like,
Keep going.
Can you write that recipe
You
down
guys
for
ever
me,
seen that
please?
fucking
No peas. I don't want the peas.
you guys ever seen that interview where Larry King was interviewing someone and he asked her what was in the bag? She was getting like she was being held at gunpoint, and then when she was being held at gunpoint, and then she got like abducted and then raped, and like she had fast food in the bag, and she's like, I had this bag full of food, and I set it on the floor.
That's what she had?
Well, what was in the bag?
Oh yeah, a quarter pounder or
Did you supersize?
Oh, man.
fuck Larry.
And she was just like, I don't fucking remember. Like she calls him out on it.
No,
too.
I'm going to call one. Okay, so Leia, we know in A New Hope, she just laying in the fucking cell, centerfold style, right? Waiting for her savior to come. But that's not really Leia.
No.
So I feel like this little Leia, she's going to be playing games as stormtroopers. They're going to come walking in. She's going to get them to shoot each other some way or something, like, you know, she does the ducks between them or
so
something.
she gets out of the
she
cell.
gets out, and then maybe like something happens where like she's like, fuck, I should have just stayed in the cell. Go to A New Hope, and she's just like, I'm just going to lounge here and wait till shit happens.
Well, her getting out on her own is interesting. I think it was, who was I talking to? I think the Arthurian historian, friend of the show, was saying, is Lola going to be involved in her escaping?
Yeah.
Because Lola did not get very far helping her when Flea was came
Right.
and smashed.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you know, stormtroopers are hesitant to pat down a child.
It's true.
So,
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
And this day and age, you can't just let, you know, all the people are pissed off at Disney for letting the women power happen. So you know Leia's going to get out and do something because it's all Disney's fault.
yes, it is all Disney. Disney. I mean, can we just go back to where it was before? We actually have a fun question about that. The Factpa.
Do we?
Or
Okay.
the Factpa for fiction. Number 2, I concede the fact, he's conceding, the fact that Reva is a master detective in her ability to find the hidden room and then the secret tunnel. How did she know where it went, and how did she teleport in front of Leia? Kind of already covered that, thanks to Cole's brilliant theory.
my analysis.
And, of
In
course,
depth.
Leia being a very slow runner.
Never displays.
See, now right now, Derek is like, God, I knew I that's why I love this guy.
Yeah.
See? Yeah.
Because you're answering his questions before we even got to his messages.
Was this a setup? Did he know that
I feel
he
like
was going
I
to
feel
share
like
that theory?
He already sent this to you, didn't he?
We have a
You guys have
whole,
already talked about this.
We have a whole Reddit thread.
Did you guys
Okay.
you guys workshop the show before you recorded us?
It's called the 1-2 punch. The DC, the Derek Cole.
I can't wait for that roll off, that spin-off pod.
Cole's crying in his lap. I can't be the C-3PO anymore.
3. While I love Vader and his brutality, did you feel the battle with Obi-Wan felt a little anticlimactic? I was hoping they would wait until episode 6 to give us the rematch duel we have been wanting. Obi-Wan seems so overmatched. I will be curious to see how they will make any further duels seem like an even match. Vader can force choke and throw Obi-Wan around like a rag doll. All Obi-Wan can do is run and hide. Thanks again, and keep up the great work, guys. Yeah, I mean, as we just explained earlier, Obi-Wan is not in fighting shape. He is in poor shape. He's totally cut off for the last 10 years. All he's been doing is cutting fucking meat and hanging out in the desert. He is not prepared to battle Vader, but he will be.
Also, how many fucking viewers are going to throw a fit and go the other way if Vader didn't show how much of a badass he was, right? Like if Obi-Wan just smoked him right away the first time they meet in 10 years when he's obviously not able to fight him yet.
Right.
Like, we know he's going to fucking win the fight, right? So, like, why? I think this is the perfect thing. I think this is the right way to go. We know Vader can whoop some ass now, so like the fight is not going to be the same. Actually, I think this will be the fight of the century, like where Obi-Wan clearly had the high ground and whooped Anakin's ass the whole time. Like when they actually fucking go at it, there's going to be some fucking hurt.
I think it's going to be, yes, because I think Ewan said something about how it's prequel-esque lightsaber battle that's coming in this. So I think we're going to get a fucking sweet sequence in episode 6 of those two going after each other.
There's going to be a moment or something.
A moment?
What?
Did you say a moment?
I said a moment.
Oh, damn. I thought they were saying like Darth Maulman.
Okay. Really jumped on that, Matt. Wow.
Well, we are in the Maul Bag.
I was sedated like 6 to 8 hours ago or something. So I'm
Did
a little-
Right.
Did you say Utes? Excuse me. There will be a moment
Thank you.
where Obi-Wan kind of gets his manhood back, I think. Like, he's going to show up at halftime, and the Mud Dog's going to win a bourbon bowl. He's going to be
Daniel LaRusso's going to fight?
Obi-Wan Kenobi's going to fight. So yeah, he's going to come in and like I don't know, maybe he gets a hold of Qui-Gon.
I think that's the
High
Qui-Gon.
We're really throwing him
The
together.
Qui-ground.
He's High-Gon. He's up there in fucking Dagobah hitting that bud with fucking Yoda.
I think it's gonna be the flashback's gonna have something to do with it. The finding out that Leia has been captured or whatever, missing, right? And he's gonna get in touch with Qui-Gon, and then all of a sudden, the fucking
Yep.
Here, I got it too. Jabim is where Yoda's gonna be. Yoda's gonna be there, and then that's gonna after he does some training with Obi-Wan. He pieces out to Dagobah to retire.
We don't know where Obi-Wan is right now, or where Yoda is right
He's
now. do we?
Dagobah. I don't think he leaves Dagobah. It's an interesting theory, and it could happen. I don't think he ever leaves Dagobah. I think he goes there, and that's why when we find him, he is just fucking shriveled up old, dying little guy because he's just been sitting there chilling. Because he's
Also, I don't think we need Yoda in this. We need Qui-Gon. Like Yoda's. I mean, he pops up all the fucking time. It wouldn't be no surprise if he popped up again.
Do we see Qui-Gon in any sort of the flashback stuff that I'm guessing happens at the beginning of episode 4? That's another interesting question. Like, will we actually see him?
Part four.
Just
I
his
think
voice.
we're gonna see. I think we're just gonna see
Part 4. Sorry. Keep
Yeah, Force Ghost Qui-Gon. But what would be the point of de-aging him that much to go that? If we go anywhere, it's just gonna go back to Order 66.
Yeah, true.
What if Qui-Gon just shows up and just berates the shit out of him? He's like, "You were my fucking apprentice. He handled you."
I just started reading Master and Apprentice. It's real interesting the dynamic between those two,
Okay.
Qui-Gon, and it's all about Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan, and how like when Obi-Wan's younger and he's trying to like please him, he doesn't read him right, and they have like all these kind of issues between each other. They struggle to kind of get along as a partnership. It's interesting.
Okay.
So you can see some of that come out. All right, now it is time for
It's true. All of it. It's all true.
Every word of what you just said was wrong.
Borgullet will know the truth.
any way you can work Borgullet into it. I'm all there for it. Okay. So, Factpa or fiction.
All right.
Our tally from last time, I had 22. You guys both had 19. So let's go through the previous questions here real quick. Chris Meyer from BC was originally cast as Salacious B. Crumb. We all said fiction. It is fiction. Kaz from Star Wars Resistance, you know, that show nobody watched, was named after Lawrence Kasdan. We all said Factpa. It is a Factpa. Darth Revan was planned to appear in Season 3 of The Clone Wars. I said fiction. You guys said Factpa. It is a Factpa.
Yeah.
Making up
Closing the
ground.
gap.
Making up ground. Savage. Opress is the Star Wars character, at least in canon, to have fought all 4 Lords of the Sith. We all said Factpa, and it is Factpa. You guys are on fire. A deleted scene from Mando implies that Quill enjoyed an unnatural relationship with his blurgs. I wish it was true. We all said fiction. It's fiction. Count Dooku had a pet crate dragon. Cole says Factpa. Jay and I say fiction, although Jay, you said you wish it was true. It is a Factpa. Look at that.
Shut up.
Cole making a big ground.
6-0,
Wow.
5-0.
The new Lego Star Wars game features a Gonk droid beauty pageant. We said Factpa. Factpa. Number 8, the Aki Aki from the Desert Festival in Pisana was named after Crash Bandicoot's companion, Aku Aku. Jay says fiction. Cole and I said Factpa. It is fiction. Jay gets 1.
Yes.
Number 9,
Hi with you, Cole.
Ginger Music Chart Botherer. Ed Sheeran has a cameo in Rise of Skywalker. We all said Factpa, and that is Factpa. And finally, because of a lack of short actors, many of the Ewoks were played by full-size actors placed further away from the main action, being in Return of the Jedi. We all said Factpa. It is fiction.
Oh, okay.
I got 6. You guys got 8. So the new tally through 4 rounds, I have 28, 27, 27.
Okay.
So we are very close. This is round 5.
All right.
All right. Number 1. The Last Jedi features more female characters than the entire original trilogy.
Factpa.
I think that's Factpa too. You got Rose. You got her sister. You got Phasma. You've got...
Wait. Did you say...
The Last
Jedi.
Jedi features more female characters than the
Okay.
entire original trilogy. I think that's Factpa.
Yes, Factpa.
Number 2, Beastie Boys Mike D and Ad Rock have cameos in The Rise of Skywalker. I mean,
Factpa.
I think you'd hear about that if it was.
there
Like
were
you
so
heard
many
saying-
people had cameos.
Well, I know the NSYNC did. in Revenge of
And
the Sith.
they're just like Beastie Boys.
Revenge of the Sith. Well, no, so I'm just
I
saying,
know,
like, they bring
seriously.
people in. So what movie did you say?
This was for Rise of Skywalker. Man, that could go
Rise
either
of
way.
Skywalker,
That's
J.J.
50-50 for me.
Abrams. They did, yeah, because sabotage is used. I'm gonna go with yes, Factpa.
All right, I'm
Sabotage is used in Star Trek. Sorry, let me fill that because someone's
picky.
like, it was never used in Star Wars.
I
I'm
don't know
gonna
what to
piggyback on your confidence. I'm gonna go Factpa.
I'm just gonna pick the same as you guys so I don't lose. No, I'm just kidding. I'm gonna say fiction just to be different.
Okay.
I think they had a ton of cameos, but I don't know that they were in it. Number 3, the Grand Inquisitor was originally meant to be Chagrian, or Chagrian, I guess is how you say that. That's like the like Masameda, that big blue horned fucking guy that stood next to the Emperor. The Emperor's like right-hand guy. Remember him?
Okay.
But his horns wouldn't let him fit in a TIE fighter, so his species was changed to be, and he wrote Rupert Friendian and crossed that out, Powan, however the Grand Inquisitor is. So was he originally meant to be Chagrian, and they changed him to a Powan, or how do you say that?
Fiction.
I say fiction.
Yeah, I think that's fiction too, especially the horns thing. Kind of sounds silly. Number 4, Harrison Dula probably has ears, but we never see them. I'm going to say Factpa.
I mean, how is that a fucking statement? Probably has ears.
Well, here is
Yes.
Twi'lek, right? And we've seen ears on other ones.
Yes, but I don't think we see them on her. That's my
Right.
She probably has.
Right, but as a
so-
species, I'm saying.
Right, so it says she probably has
Factpa?
ears, but we never see them.
Yes.
Factpa.
Yeah, so it's Factpa.
Okay. Number 5, the Wampa scene in Empire Strikes Back was changed because Mark Hamill's face was messed up after a car accident.
Wampa scene.
I think I've heard that somewhere. Factpa.
What
I say
was it? Empire or was it Revenge of the Return of the Jedi that he had the? It was after Corvette Summers, so he was in the accident.
I think it's Factpa.
So it's Factpa. Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see. Number 6. Speaking of Mark Hamill, 3 of his kids have cameos in The Last Jedi. Ooh. Jay feels confident.
Factpa.
Factpa.
All right, Factpa then.
But hold on, does he have 3 kids?
Ooh,
It wouldn't be.
trick
It wouldn't be,
question.
it wouldn't be past Laybourne to be like change
Yeah.
the 3 from a 2.
Doesn't he?
Nope, he has. 2
Does he have a
kids.
daughter and a son, or does he have 2 daughters?
He has a 3rd sister.
I'll go with it's a Factpa. I'm gonna go with Factpa.
All right, I'm going to stick with Factpa too. Number 7, Rogue One is the only Star Wars movie where the title is also a line of dialogue. Solo doesn't count
Why not?
for obvious reasons.
Nah, it's got to be fiction because they say he's the last Jedi. somewhere
That's
in
the
Last
only
Jedi.
one that
Yes.
I'm wondering, does he actually say The Last Jedi?
He says, Kylo Ren says something about him being you are the last Jedi or something. And that's when he goes, after all of his rants, he goes, everything you said was wrong.
It's in the drop for this segment.
Yeah.
I don't know that he ever actually says The Last Jedi, like those words in order. That's what I'm trying to figure out. I don't know. I'm going to say fiction. You guys say fact, but it's cool.
I say
That
Factpa.
boy
All
was
right.
Wait.
our last hope.
Factpa is,
Fact, but it's true.
yeah, they don't say A New Hope.
I'm trying to think.
They don't say Empire Strikes Back. They don't say Revenge
No.
of the Sith. They don't say Phantom Menace. I think
They got to
it's
say the Clone Wars somewhere. Yeah, he's like he fought with your father in the Clone Wars in Episode 4.
but that's not a title of a movie.
Episode 2, the Clone Wars.
Attack of the Clones.
Shit.
The animated version.
So what do you guys say? I'm
saying
saying
Factpa.
They say The Last Jedi. So I'm going to say whatever one tells me that I'm right with, they say The Last Jedi as
you're
well.
saying fiction. Cole and I are
Okay.
saying Factpa.
Okay.
I'm saying that The Last Jedi is not said. I think that the only time a line of dialogue is Rogue One.
No, you're saying fiction. You're saying fiction.
Let
We're
me
saying
read the
Factpa.
question again. Rogue One is the only Star Wars movie where the title is also a line of dialogue. So you're saying fiction, Cole.
Fiction because
Okay.
I think
You
there's
two
more
are
than one.
fiction. I'm Factpa. We are going to get a winner out of this because we're disagreeing a lot.
Okay.
Number 8, 20th Century Fox wanted Chewbacca to wear lederhosen.
Put pants on that dog.
I can see his. I think
Factpa?
I can see his thing.
Factpa.
Isn't there there's sketches, I think, where they've got some type of pants on.
This is how the
Chewbacca.
mind fuck of Mike Laybourne works. Is
Yeah.
it makes you go, yeah, I think I've seen something like that, no matter what he says.
This is what is that called? What is the where something exists, but the Mandela effect.
Oh, that where you thought he was dead, but he wasn't. Like that, right? That was the Mandela
Yes,
thing.
yes.
Originally. Okay, what are you gonna say? You say Factpa, Cole?
I say Factpa. Yep.
I don't think 20th Century Fox wanted. Well, I don't know.
I say
They're a bunch of fucking I'm going to go with a Factpa.
All right, I'll go fiction. Fuck, I'm going to get
All right.
slaughtered. Instead of the usual spinny lightsaber, the 10th brother uses Shoto-style lightsabers like Yoda and Ahsoka.
Factpa?
I'm going to say Factpa too. I don't know, but I'm going to say
It's very
Factpa.
specific. Very specific.
The 10th brother does what?
He uses Shoto-style lightsabers like Yoda and Ahsoka instead of the longer spinny ones.
Hello, Shoto.
Is the 10th brother the one that's in Rebels where they go to that planet and he encounters Maul? Is that the 10th brother? Remember that guy comes in out of nowhere? Fuck, does he helicopter in? If he helicopters in, that's a spinny lightsaber.
Yeah. I think although when we were looking at, remember last week when I looked them up and there's 11 of them, there was one that was like, I want to say, I'm going to go with.
I'm confusing myself. I'm going to say fiction now because I think that guy comes in on his goddamn helicopter, but I'm not positive that's the 10th brother.
Yeah, I'm not either. But I think there is one that does not have the spinny helicopter thing.
Is it the 10th brother?
I don't know.
Well, you got to answer the question.
I'm going to say it's.
I mean, you could say no answer.
I'm saying he does not have the helicopter blade.
Okay, so you are saying Factpa. Cole says
Yes.
Factpa. I say fiction. Oh boy.
Okay.
Oh boy. 10. R2-D2 was inspired by the drones Huey, Dewey, and Louie from Silent Running.
The drones? Huey, Dewey, and Louie?
Yes, I have not seen this. This must be a science fiction movie.
Sounds like a submarine.
Well, Huey, Dewey, and Louie are the fucking nephews to.
Yeah, no, I think this is different though. This is, I think, a science fiction
And then
movie.
Silent Running. I don't even know what that is.
It's like Cool Runnings. It's about
Barbados
bobsled.
instead of Jamaica. Yeah. I'm gonna say false.
I'll say fiction.
I'll go with fucking fact, but just because.
All right. Answers will follow when the podcast is released, and the winner will get a custom lightsaber. That's what Mike says.
Oh,
Is that the one you're planning on winning, Mike? Because let's be real, you're not. You're not gonna win.
Mike's going out and bought 2 of them now. So he's going to give us one now.
There you go. This segment might be over.
Oh.
But don't worry, I'll be back with my 9-part essay, Why Chris Villaseñor is Wrong About Solo, a Star Wars Story.
I will do a whole episode on it.
Yeah, exactly. Did you see, by the way, John Kasdan making comments about that, saying how like he feels like there's more to be told from the Solo story and how Jon Favreau's the guy to do it, and he like specifically called out like knowing the rest of Kira's story and Memphis Nest and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Let's fucking go.
I think they're teasing.
Bring
Right?
it.
I think so.
Well, even Kennedy came back and kind of re-examined her words.
Kennedy, the VJ from MTV?
Exactly. She's doing nothing these days.
JFK.
She stands behind Kennedy. Kennedy? Am I saying it? Why am I?
I don't know. You know, I went to school with Kennedy, right?
Who?
I went to high school with Kennedy. Her name was Lisa.
Lisa Kennedy.
Her name was Lisa Montgomery.
Okay.
But I think her middle name was Kennedy. She went by Kennedy. She went to my high school.
So you
Who the
went to
fuck are we
high
talking
school.
about?
Kennedy she was on the VJ that had like the horn-rimmed glasses.
90s on MTV. She was a VJ.
Real super
Curly black
skinny.
hair.
Kind of looked like Lisa Loeb.
You would recognize her from Fox News. Sorry.
Is she on there?
I think she went there at some point. Anyway, let's wrap up the show.
Oh, wow. You've known so many famous people.
All right, let's go. Wrap it up.
All right. Let's wrap this show up. Hold on. I need my notes because I forgot what the saying is.
Until next time.
There we go. And until next time, Kennedy.
Thanks for listening, and never tell us the odds.
In our experience, there's no such thing as luck.
We have spoken.